My name is Odd Roar Olsen. Fish is our way of life. Well, actually it was from my own experience. We wanted to be different in one way in particular, and that is that it is 100% Norwegian. And this was something that I realized using other brands was that it really doesn't taste good. We want to make sure that our customers get the best in terms of purity and freshness and 100% Norwegian oil. My name is Odd Roar Olsen. Come from a little village in the north of Norway called Ballstad. I grew up there. It's a small fishing village with maybe 1,000 people that lives there. Fishing has been the way of life for thousands of years there, and it goes back all the way to the Viking time. Even the name Ballstad comes from the Viking god Balder, so it means Balder's place. So we have fish is our way of life, and living in the north of Norway, that's brings its own set of challenges in terms of weather and habitability. We even didn't have trees until the 1970s. There was no trees. So if you look at pictures from Ballstad until the 1960s, there are barely no trees. It just doesn't grow there. So it's a special place.
So why did you decide to build an omega-3 company?
Well, actually it was from my own experience. I grown up with omega-3. Everybody in Norway has grown up with omega-3, either through fish or through the spoon of cod liver oil every morning. And when I started traveling around Europe, I realized very quickly that I was not getting my normal diet, and this affected me. So that was how it started when I became aware of the need. Something that we take for granted in Norway. It's just a way of our life, our lifestyle. So in 2015 and 16, I understood that this was something that there was an actual niche. There was a lot of products in the market, but there was nothing that was 100% pure, fresh Norwegian omega-3, and that's how it started, and the rest is history.
What makes Ballstad different from the other omega-3 brands in the market?
We wanted to be different in one way in particular, and that is that it is 100% Norwegian. That's number one, and the reason for that is, of course, because of the production security and traceability we have in place in Norway. It's one of the strictest countries in the world in terms of production quality. But the other thing is freshness. And freshness is something that nobody talks about. Of course, if you go and buy fish at the local fish market, you're going to want the fish to be fresh. The same applies for omega-3. And this was something that I realized using other brands was that it really doesn't taste good. And of course, your need of omega-3 is not going to change throughout your life. So this is a lifestyle. You take it every day for your whole life. It should be fresh. And this is something we focus very much on, fresh and 100% pure. Our standards that we set for our products is lower, in some cases 5 to 10 times lower for heavy metals and dioxides than the industry standard does. So we want to make sure that our customers get the best in terms of purity and freshness and 100% Norwegian oil.
So if we chew or eat fish oil capsule, can we understand its freshness from the taste?
Yeah, chew it. That's the thing with the reason why the capsule is so useful is that it's easy to take. It is very important to every step of the production to make sure that there's no oxygen introduced into the product, because this starts oxidation. Oxidation means, well, rotten fish. So I always also chew my capsule, and it should not be a bad taste. It's that simple. In the same way as fish should not taste bad. Of course, it will taste fish, but it shouldn't taste bad. So, of course, you take the capsule, and then if it is rancid, if it is not good quality, you will get an aftertaste. And this is something that I don't like, and most people don't like this. They don't like that aftertaste that comes after 5 to 10 minutes. So I taste it, chew it. That's the best way to figure out if it's a difference.
When we see Ballstad capsules, we see them very small when you compare the others. Why is that in that way?
Yeah, because we work directly with customers, and this was one of the first things that we were told, that they don't like big capsules because they are hard to swallow, and it was not appealing. So since omega-3 is basically the same as eating fish, it doesn't really matter if it's one big one or 3 small ones. So what we did was to make small capsules, which is easy for everybody to take. And if you take 3 or 1 big one, or that's irrelevant. It's the same as eating fish. If you eat 3 small fish or 1 big one, it's the same. So we, as I said, we work with the customers directly and get their feedbacks on how we can make the product more lifestyle friendly, let's say like that, because it is not a thing you just take once and then like a medicine. Omega-3 has nothing to do with medicine. It is a lifestyle. It's the same as eating fish. So unless you start eating more fish in your diet, you're going to need to supplement.
We mentioned about freshness. In Ballstad, how do you keep your omega-3s fresh?
Well, in the package, yeah. No, there's a couple of things that actually we got one here which we can borrow. So when these are sealed, so first of all, they are 100% non-transparent, meaning that you don't get any UV light inside, which is important because UV light breaks down the omega-3 molecule. But we also fill them with nitrogen, which is an inert gas, and then before they are sealed, hermetically sealed, we fill them with nitrogen, so to make sure there's no oxygen in the capsule or outside the capsule. So we have been testing these for 5 years, and still they are just as fresh as the beginning. So they as long as they're in the package, you open them, you seal them, put them in the fridge or put them in a cupboard. They don't like to be in more than 30 degrees for a long time, but normal room temperature around 20 is perfectly fine. But we have done everything we could to make sure that the freshness is contained.
So do you have some special storage conditions in your company, also in your warehouse?
Yeah, controlled. We follow, it's not that it's so special, but Norwegian regulations on this is quite strict. So we follow, in every country, we make sure that they follow the Norwegian standard on storage. So, which comes to control temperature regulation, cleanliness. There's a huge document explaining these things. We follow the Norwegian Food Safety Authority's standards on this.
When we think about fish oil, the first country that we remember is Norway. Why is that?
Well, fish oil has played an integral role for thousands of years, actually, in Norway. We actually got cave paintings, which are, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 years old, which are painted in cod liver oil, which is, it was used for painting your house. It was used on boats. It was used by the Vikings. They called it like a power elixir. There are referenced like this. So it's actually a history that goes back thousands of years. But the big industrial production started in the 1800s, and it was exported to all around the world. And it was just Norway that was doing it. Norway invented fish oil, for sure. And so I'm quite sure that the historic plays the biggest role. But the other part is today's quality products. There is a lot of different qualities around in the market, and Norwegian products for sure holds the highest standards.